wherever you are in the world. I'm Olu Samuel, and I will be taking you on a journey of mastering prompt engineering today. I'll give you a quick background about myself anyway, about me. So obviously, a lot of you know that I was in cohort two in Blackforce, where I studied and learned Salesforce admin and consultant. And then I've been able to make use of that knowledge to, I would say, full potential since that time. So I'm an AI product lead, and I have pioneered and I've also created an AI product, and I continue to do that. Currently, I recently released an AI product. So it's going to be available to the public shortly. In my Salesforce roles, I function as a Salesforce solution architect in several clouds like loyalty management, which is currently what I'm doing right now. I'm working on a loyalty management project. Also, I do function as a solution architect in marketing cloud, sales and service cloud, and I would say a few other clouds as well. One thing that I love to do is I love to help organizations like achieve, I would say, unparalleled customer engagement and also help them with like streamlining business workflows and also most importantly in this day and age that we find ourselves, help them with like an AI driven innovation by making sure that I combine strategic vision, technical expertise, and a lot of things along the way, and leveraging more of an advanced multi-cloud architecture. So I've been doing a lot of stuff in the AI space, but obviously I'm still very, very immersed in my Salesforce journey. Like most of the things I do is more kind of related with Salesforce and AI, or sometimes AI standalone that doesn't require Salesforce. So today we want to learn about prompt engineering, like we want to master the art of AI conversation. So let's get going here, folks. Like I said earlier, I had an issue with my slide, so hopefully it should be good now. So what are we going to learn today? We get to learn introduction, like get an intro to prompt engineering, like what it is, like what is it, right? It's evolution. We get to look at some examples, and we're also going to talk about its real life application as well. We're going to talk about foundation of prompt engineering, and we look at its anatomy, the prompt patterns and techniques, and we then get a look into advanced techniques in prompt engineering as well, like using parameters. Like a lot of you guys probably haven't seen what I'm going to be showing you today, and how I wouldn't say how easy and simple, because it could also get a bit techy at some point, but at least I will simplify it for you guys to actually see that it's not that difficult to do some of these things. And, we're going to be looking at some advanced techniques like optimizing prompts. And also, I'll just show you some tools. I may not show you, but it's on the slide. You guys can Google it, like some tools and very good and useful platforms that you guys can play around with. Then we're going to talk about future trends, and we're going to talk about emerging trends as well, looking at some key insights of prompt engineering. And also, after that, we're going to do our demo. So, in the demo, I plan to show you a project that I worked on specifically for this class, so that you guys can actually see that what I'm about to show you today, if you guys actually were part of the admin class, you see me show you how to use ChatGPT as an assistant, right? No, this class is way, way beyond that, right? Maybe at the end of it, if I do get the time, I might just show you again some how to leverage GPT as your assistants, right? But today I want to show you some cool stuff, and that's going to be during the demo, okay? And also, I'm going to show you or, walk you around Salesforce Einstein Prompt Builder. We're going to work on a use case, which is similar to something that I've worked on recently. So I'm going to walk you guys through that as well. without any further ado, let's get going here, folks. So at the beginning of this class, I would say like the next 30 minutes or thereabout, maybe 30, 40 minutes might be focused on the slide. But after that, I will show you the project that I built specifically for this class, the importance of that project. Like there's a reason I built that because um, when I was building my AI product, I was actually working as within my company, right? I was working as a prompt engineer as well as assistant to developers. I want to show you something very, very crucial that you guys might come across in your career path, or if you ever find yourself doing any of these prompt engineering stuff. Okay, so quickly, what really is prompt engineering, right? Let me paint a picture so you guys can understand. So if you go to a restaurant and the waiter comes up to you and then you said to the waiter, give me food, right? The waiter is just going to look at you confused, like, what do you mean? They might not say it out, but you're saying, give me food, right? Then the waiter will probably ask you, what kind of food are you a vegetarian, or you want a spicy food, or you want a sweet food? Whatever it is, they're gonna probably respond back, right? Now, I want you to imagine you said to the waiter, I'd like a medium, I'm just throwing some random words here, right? Maybe you want like a medium rare steak with mashed potatoes and a side of maybe grilled asparagus, whatever it is, right? Then the waiter knows exactly what to do, and your meal is going to arrive perfectly. This is prompt engineering, folks. It's just about asking AI systems exactly what you need in the right way to get the right output, right? So the better the instructions, the better the result. The better, again, the better the instructions, the better the result. That is a very key word for you guys to understand. So if I would say what is prompt engineering, I would say that it is the art of communication with AI, right? It's like designing outputs to make AI understand you better, to guide the AI to build the perfect response, right? And why is this actually important? Why is prompt engineering important? Why is all that what I've been saying important? Because AI cannot read your mind. Again, AI cannot read your mind. So it can only follow instructions. So the more clear, the more specific and structured you are, then the better the outcome of the instruction is going to be, right? That's the way it is. So yeah, so you have your prompt. Your prompt is more like you're typing into an LLM. I'm gonna go into all of that. Whatever keywords you're seeing on the screen, everything I have a bit of a note as well that I'll show you guys. By the way, before I started the class, my PowerPoint slide messed up. It crashed. So I had a backup, so I just moved the backup to Google Drive just now, just 10 minutes before the class. So I'm somebody that really pays attention to details. Some things I'm seeing I don't like, but in case you're somebody like me that I do pay attention to detail, it's just because I had like 10 minutes to fix one or two things here before the class. So pardon me for that. So when we're talking about evolutions of prompts, right? I would say the journey of prompt. So we have the simple, and there are two sides of this. This is the layman language that I want to use for this, but sometimes there's all that you could see some technological, or I would say technical jargons, or technical lingos, languages that will be used to replace some of these, right? They are literally almost saying the same thing. Okay, so we do have the simple, the instructional, the dynamic, and the chain of thoughts. So what exactly is the simple? It's just as simple as it is. It's simply giving a very basic and straightforward instruction. For example, you could say something like list three benefits of drinking water. That's straightforward. That's nothing else, more than that, right? Simple and straightforward. What about instructional? When we're talking about instructional, here you gotta give a bit more detail. It's like you teaching the AI how to think. By the way, this master class that I'm taking today, I would say this is like 1% or maybe, yeah, I would say maybe 1 or 2% of a whole AI class itself. That, I also do have like this AI class. This is a module taken, this is just like a fraction taken out of it. So there are things that I may not go into because this is not an AI class. This is a prompt engineering class. However, you will hear some AI terminologies, and I will need to explain that to you. But there's also like there's more today. There's more to this prompt engineering. There's way more to all of this, folks. All right. So like I was saying, I think I was talking about the instructional. So this is where you get to teach the AI. For example, you could write something like write a thank you email to a customer for their purchase, something like that, because now you're giving an instruction. Then we have what is called dynamic prompts. So now we're getting more creative. We're getting more creative. We're using things like placeholders, which is something that I want to show you today, which is something very important. Like some of you guys, when we're talking about prompt engineering, all you think about is ChatGPT. And I'm going to be showing you guys something more than what you guys might even think about today. So please stay tuned. That's probably going to be after we're done with this slide. Okay. So, and I don't want to rush through this slide because I want to also go through some of this stuff with you on the slide as well. So, that is where we use personalization, whereby we can add like any sort of parameters in a code. I'll show you all of that, and once we get there, I'll explain how all of that works as well. Okay. Then we have the chain of thought, mostly known as COT. So this is where the fun actually begins. COT prompt, it breaks problems into steps so AI can actually solve them logically. So this is where you could probably say something like, I'm just going to say some random stuff, obviously, to make sense. So I also have a note that I want to display next so you can actually see more examples, right? But this is where you could say something like, if a store sells maybe 3 apples for $5, and then you can say how much for 12 apples, right? And then you can add to the prompt that show step-by-step reasoning. So now I'm just sort of curious if any of you has ever been frustrated when technology doesn't go your way. So in this case, the problem wasn't the technology, it's the way you are using the technology that is available to you. So the bottom line here is the ability to communicate with AI is power, and we're just scratching the surface. AI, as it is today, is research based, is 20 to 25% research. We're not even close to anywhere where we're going to see where AI, like, I'm also part of a research team that's also working on AI research. And what I've been able to uncover so far is really, really like mind blowing, like really, really mind blowing. And this is some of the things that obviously is not included in this class because this is strictly prompt engineering, but obviously there are other ways to learn those stuff as well. But anyway, so this is the notes that I have here. So just so you guys have an idea, so you can take a screenshot, you can quickly go over it, but I will also use this note to explain as well. So generative AI, when you're looking at generative AI, I want you to think of generative AI as a chef, right? This is a chef, and this chef has an infinite recipe book. So instead of following a fixed resume, so this chef looks at patterns in different dishes and they've tasted, right? What does that mean? They're learning from data. That's basically what that analogy means. They're learning from data. So now they will use this knowledge to, improvise and create entirely new dishes that is tailored to your preferences. So in this case, it could be a story, it could be an image, it could be a song, depending on what you want to get out of AI, right? So just like a chef combines familiar ingredients in different ways, innovative ways, generative AI also combines learned patterns to produce original creations, right? They learned patterns so they can produce original creation. Now, when we're talking about, I wanted to put generative AI there because I think I mentioned that when I was speaking as well. And because a lot of people don't have an idea. Like obviously, some people have already done some courses, you have an idea, but some people also have no clue. Like, what's generative AI? What's LLM? Is it the same thing? What's going on here, right? LLM, large language model, on the other side. When you're looking at LLM, I want you to think of LLMs like the writers, the thinkers of the AI of this world, right? The AI thinkers, the writers of this world, right? So what did they do? They've read tons of books, articles, scripts to understand language and generate like meaningful text. Now, as an example, we have GPT, right? So what does GPT actually stand for? GPT means generative pre-trained transformer. That's what GPT means. It means generative pre-trained transformer. And it's actually a type of LLM. GPT is a type of LLM and is developed by OpenAI, right? So how does it work? It's like a brain that is trained to talk, to write, and even to code and do so many other things, right? And by the way, we do have so many others as well. We have Gemini, we have Claude, we have Llama by Meta, and I think most of you guys probably know GBT, Gemini, and obviously you know all others as well. That's not even mentioned here, right? But Gemini is also an AI model that is developed by, it's developed by actually Google DeepMind. Google DeepMind developed Gemini, and the aim of Gemini is to process and content across multiple type of data. So we have like text, images, and potential videos as well. If you sort of upgrade to the pro account of Gemini, to the upgrade account of a GBT person, because I've done a lot of testing, and most of the time I find GBT to do what I want it to do better than Gemini. But that doesn't mean that Gemini doesn't have, it's not good. It's actually a multimodal and conversational AI. I might speak a little bit more on that later, right? Then these are some of the examples of the prompts that I was talking about earlier. So we have the simple prompts, instructional prompts, dynamic prompts, and the COT prompts, right? So these are some examples that you can actually see there. So these are some examples. Then you could actually mix a simple prompt with an instructional prompt, right? So this is a good example, like explain photosynthesis in simple terms to a 12-year-old. So you're literally mixing a simple prompt with an instructional prompt. Or you can mix instructional plus dynamic. Again, this line was caused by me moving my slide to but it's okay. Some of you guys probably noticed, but I'm somebody that I notice all those kind of things, right? So you can mix all these prompts styles together, dynamic and COT, calculate the total cost of, this is what I was talking about when it comes to parameters, right? Where is this quantity coming from? Right? I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you guys. Where is this coming from? I'm gonna show you. Just be patient, okay? Right? So the input example will be quantity 8, price per item $15, right? Simple plus COT. Why do plants need sunlight? That's simple. COT, explain in detailed guide. So COT is where the fun begins, is where, you're literally, it's, as it says, the chain of thoughts, right? It's like a step-by-step reasoning, like solving a pose. Okay. But anyway, one thing I like to also say is that AI software is not going to replace human creativity. It can only amplify it. So when people say that GPT or AI is going to take their job away, there are two types of AI, software and hardware. Hardware would be the ones that you see in form of humanoids, right? But softwares are the likes of GPT, Gemini, Llama, a lot of them, including the one that I built, a lot of them, right? These are software. What do they do? They amplify your work. That's basically what they do. Now, now, I like to erase a notion that a lot of people have. Although AI, like software AI, they're not going to take your job away. However, anyone that knows how to use those tools can steal your job. We got to get there, okay? We got to get there on this slide. But let's move on quickly here. So, what are some real life applications that I've seen, or heard of? But most of them I've seen them around, right? So, we have customer support. So chatbot, we've all seen a chatbot, right? So it can detect customer sentiment. And by the way, I'm going to be showing you something around sentiment in the Einstein prompt builder case that we're going to work on together today as well. Okay, so this chatbot can actually detect customer sentiments in real time, and they can also adapt like responses to calm. This is actually one thing that I'm going to build in the Einstein prompt builder today. Okay, and we have the real time surgical support folks in the full AI class. There's something. this there's soft AI and there's strong AI. Okay, but I don't want to deviate from this class. But the reason I wanted to just quickly talk about that is I don't know how on earth they want to pull it through or how on earth they want to do this, but there are institutes working on building AI that connects this world with the outside world. How on earth they get it? I have no idea. But I've seen some stuff there, right? I've seen something going on, but can they pull it through? I don't know. That is classified as strong AI. Whatever you see today, OpenAI, right? ChatGPT, Gemini, they're all soft AI. Why are they soft AI? Because they're trained. They need you to tell them something before they can do something. Strong AI is an AI that acts on its own with 100% human reasoning, human brain. You do not tell it what to do, it acts on its own. That is strong AI. But anyway, let me not deviate because that's not part of this class, but it's good to know. It's good for you guys to know, right? So here we have the real-time surgical support, right? And AI has been providing surgeons with instant procedural suggestion based on visual inputs during like minimal invasive surgeries. We've seen that. We've also seen like content creators, they can summarize like so content creators, not summarize, they can actually generate videos, right? Which is again something that I'm going to show you today. I'm going to show you how I built a mini project for this class using parameters in I would say using parameters in a prompt, but I am not using it directly on ChatGPT. I'm going to show you all of that today, folks. Okay, I'm going to show you. Just be patient. So yeah, so we've seen content creators, right? So they can generate video scripts, and that is probably paired with like an AI designed visuals, which is the project that I'm going to be working on anyway with you guys today for dynamic and branded content and campaign. Then, in terms of the academic as well, we've seen like students, they can summarize academic paper. Like we've seen a lot of that, like Otter AI, Read AI. You can use all of those for your meetings, and there's so many AI Squillbot, so many out there that students can use to summarize academic papers. Obviously, if you're a student, then you need to follow your institutional